Okay, dear candidates, good afternoon. Welcome to this last segment of computer studies and agriculture. I'll be starting with agriculture for the first 30 minutes, and then Teacher Choliman will be coming in after 30 minutes for agriculture. Today, dear computer students, we are going to discuss computer networks. And we are aware that you have these notes in your books. And some of us who are very serious, we have been revising. But even those ones who have not been revising, today we have an opportunity that we are going to discuss this. And then at the end of the day, you'll be able to pick a thing or two. We shall start with the definition of computer networks. It is a collection of computers and other devices connected together by a communication channel. Just like you hear the word network, it's about linking different objects together. But this time, we are referring to a computer network. So a computer network is a collection of different computers and other devices together. But here we are saying that these computers are linked together by a communication channel. So there is something that links together these computers, and that's what we call a communication channel. So when we tell you to define a computer network, you tell us that it's a collection of computers and other devices connected. So there are basically two words to take note of. One is a collection of computers, but then the other word is connected now. So when you collect computers and you do not connect them, it does not qualify to be a network, a computer network. So the computers should be connected together and again connected. Because when they are connected, that's when they can be able to really communicate. So we have an alternative that you can also say that a computer network is a collection of computers and other devices connected together to share information and other resources. So the reason why we establish a network, the main reason is for these computers to communicate. And when these computers communicate, they can be able to share resources. Of course, we shall see what a computer resource means as we move on. But that is the definition of a computer network. Why computer networks? Why do we need a computer network? Now this one is the same as reasons for establishing a computer network. Sometimes we tell candidates to give reasons why an organization may need a computer network, or why an organization may establish a computer network. So this is the same question, like why do you need a computer network? So we have a couple of reasons for establishing a network in an organization. One is that enables sharing of resources such as printers, scanners, storage devices, hence reducing costs. So where you have a computer network, you are able to share resources. If we take a case of a printer, we have always told you that during the NEB exams, students print their work. But it is not that every student's computer will have a printer, no. What happens is that we share a printer on the network such that all students can print wherever they are. So in other words, a printer in that case becomes a resource that is shared on a network. So 10 students can use one printer to print, and in that case the printer has become a resource. Why are we saying it's an advantage? We are saying it's an advantage because when you share a printer, it means many users can use the same printer to print, and therefore you will not need to buy many printers. Assume you have 10 computers. You don't need to buy 10 printers to be installed on the 10 computers. No, you only need to buy one printer and share that printer such that all the 10 users can use one printer. And the advantage in that is that you're going to reduce costs. So that is one of the advantages. That's one of the advantages of networking. Another advantage of establishing a computer network is to enable sharing of data. It enables data sharing. You are aware that where you have a computer network, you can easily share data. Computer A can share, you can access data on computer A when you set it on computer Z, and that is data sharing. Then another advantage is that it facilitates communication between people. You see, where you have a computer network, communication is made possible between different people or different users of that network. I told students, or I always tell students that you can have a computer network without internet. But in the event that you have internet on your network, then again communication is made far easier, because you can use services offered by internet. For example, you can use email, you can use video conferencing, you can even use the chat room to do chatting. But all that one is made possible because of a network. Then the other advantage, or the other reason why you need a network, is it allows tight control over who has access to what. With a network, especially when you are running a client-server model, I remember teaching you the network models where you have peer-to-peer and client-server. So in the event that you have established the client-server model, you are aware that in a client-server model you have a central computer known as a server that controls other computers. So where you have a server, you can control other client computers using your server. So that could be a reason why you may establish a network. Now, there are two questions here. There is a question that reasons for establishing a network, and then the other question may be advantages of having a computer network. Now, you can simply transform these reasons for establishing a network to suit the question of advantage of using a computer network. For example, let's take a case of the first reason, enabling sharing of resources. Now, if the question says, mention 2 advantages of establishing a computer network in an organization. Now, the advantage here will be it to enable or to reduce the costs. It reduces the costs of an organization. But now, the reason for establishing this network is to enable sharing of resources. But what comes as a result of sharing of resources? The organization reduces on the cost of buying other resources like printers. So now the advantage in this is that it reduces the expenditure of an organization. That's an advantage. Then let's look at another point that enables sharing of data and information. That's the reason for establishing a network. How can we transform this reason into an advantage? The advantage may be enables easy sharing, or with where you have a network, there is easy sharing of data and information. Now that's an advantage. The reason is to enable sharing of data and information. But now the advantage, if the question is talking about an advantage, then it should be there is enables easy sharing of data and information. Because even without a network, there can be data sharing. But we are saying where you have a network, data sharing is made easier. So that one is an advantage. Then we can also transform the third point, facilitates communication between people. Now that's the reason for establishing a network. How can you now transform it into an advantage? The advantage may be facilitates easy communication. Because even without a network, there can be communication. But we are saying where you have a network, communication is made easier. So you need to know how to answer these questions. If the question is give a reason for establishing a network, then you need to know how to handle. If the question is give advantages of having a network, again, you have to write these points correctly. Otherwise, you will not get marks. Let's look at the disadvantages of establishing a network. Of course, as you know, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. So a computer network does not only have advantages, it also has some disadvantages. One of the disadvantages is that the hardware, software, and expertise required to set up a network is actually expensive. So it is expensive to set up a computer network, in the sense that the gadgets needed to set up this network are not really very cheap. They are not cheap. Then the other disadvantage is that they are vulnerable to security problems. You see, when we were discussing system security, we said that viruses transmit faster where you have a network. So viruses can easily they can easily travel on a computer network. So that's why we are looking at this point that they are vulnerable to security problems, especially viruses. You can add that word, especially viruses. If the question is mention or state two disadvantages of having a computer network, you can say computer networks are vulnerable to security problems, especially computer viruses. Because if a virus gets into a network, it can easily transmit, or it can easily be carried to other computers on that network. Then the other one is that if a server fails, the whole network may fail, hence inconveniencing all the users. Especially where you have a client server model, where you have a server, a central computer controlling other computers, which is known as a server. We are saying if this server fails, all users will not be able to work. So there will be some inconvenience, and that's one of the disadvantages. Then they can easily spread viruses. We already talked about that one under security problems. So those are some of the disadvantages. Now we have types of computer networks. We have types of computer networks. There are different types of computer networks. As you know, for those who have been revising, we have different types of computer networks, and these networks are categorized depending on different factors. One, we categorize networks depending on the area of coverage, the area of span of this network. Now, if we consider the category of networks that are based on the area of coverage, you'll appreciate that one of the networks that we have is the local area network, or the LAN. So a local area network is one type of a computer network. So you need to know what a local area network is. A local area network is a type of network that covers a small geographical area. A small geographical area, in this case, we are talking about an area such as a room, or such as a building. So when we tell you to define a local area network, tell us that it is the type of network that covers a small geographical area, and then you give an extent of that area. Because if you simply tell us that is a type of network that covers a small geographical area and you stop there, the examiner will not get to know the extent of this area, because what you call a small area may be big to another person, or may be a large area to another person. So you have to give an extent, e.g. a room or a building. That's the local area network. Then we have another type, which is called the metropolitan area network, the MAN. The metropolitan area network is a type of network that covers a relatively large geographical area. Relatively large in the sense that it is bigger than the area covered by land. So we give an extent of this area, and normally we talk about a city. So you can say a metropolitan area network is a type of network that covers a relatively large geographical area, such as a city. I always tell students that if we consider a city like Kampala, if we are to establish a metropolitan area network, then it means that this network will be covering the 5 divisions of Kampala, including Rubaga, Kawempe, Machinje, and Nakawa and Kampala Central. So those are the 5 divisions of Kampala. Now, if you create a network covering the entire Kampala city, then that kind of network will not be called a LAN, because you can see that this area is bigger than the area covered by a LAN. Because we said in the case of a LAN, we consider an area like a room or a building. So that is MAN. Then another type of network is the wide area network, or WAN. And this is a network that covers a wide or a large geographical area, such as a country or a region. So if you simply say that a wide area network is a type of network that covers a large geographical area and you stop there, again, that will not be right. It will be wrong. You have to give an extent. What do you call a wide area? Alright? So you say EG, a country or a region. So if you have a network of computers for the entire Uganda, then that kind of network will not be LAN, will not be MAN, but it will be WAN, the wide area network. But we're also saying that WAN can relate to a network that covers a region like East Africa. You're aware that we have, I think, 5 countries in East Africa. So if you have a network that can cover all the 5 countries, then that kind of network is a wide area network, or WAN. Now sometimes we tell you to define LAN, define WAN, define MAN, or we tell you to distinguish between LAN and WAN. Or sometimes we even talk about WLAN, W1, WMAN. Where we have W means wireless. So if the question says, what is a WLAN? That's a wireless local area network now. You're aware that wireless means no physical connection. So this is a network that where there is no physical connection. The signals travel through air. So if we tell you to define wireless LAN, WLAN, it means this is a type of network, is the type of local area network that has no physical connection, or where there is no physical connection between the computers. Or you can say is a type of local area network where data or signals travel through air, and that is wireless LAN. So let's continue and look at other types of networks. Away from LAN, MAN, and WAN, we have another type of network known as Internet. Now, Internet is a type of network that covers the entire world. So for it, it's a global network. In other words, whereas we are talking about WAN as a network that covers a country or a region like East Africa, Internet covers the entire world. Internet covers the entire world. It's a network of the entire world. So it's a global network. Then we have another type of network known as intranet. Now, intranet is different from internet. You have to take note, please. Sometimes we tell students to define intranet and they end up confusing this with internet. Now, intranet is different. Intranet is an organizational network. It's a network within an organization. The only thing is that this network is limited to who has access to what. So with intranet is a network in an organization whose access is only limited to members of that organization. So we can have an intranet in Chibuli, and this intranet will only be accessed by maybe the teachers and the students of Chibuli, and anyone who is outside Chibuli will not be allowed to use this network. Now that kind of network is what called intranet. Now sometimes we tell candidates to give advantages of establishing an intranet or having an intranet in an organization. Now, you need to take a note that intranet is a network, is a type of network. Now, since intranet is a network, then if you are told to give reasons for establishing an intranet, it means they are the same reasons for establishing a network in an organization, right? But the other thing here is that this kind of network will be limited or restricted to members in that organization. So that is intranet. Then another one is extranet. Extranet is also organizational. It is within the organization. It's a network of an organization. But this one allows to, extends to allow members who are outside the organization but close to that organization. Let's take a case here. We have an intranet in Ichiguri. So this intranet will only allow students and teachers to use. But if this intranet extends to allow people who are close to the organization, like maybe the suppliers of uniforms, the suppliers of food, to also use this network, then it qualifies to be an extranet. So extranet is organizational network whose access is limited to members of that organization, but extends to allow members who are close to that organization to use it. Now that becomes extranet. So ladies and gentlemen, like I told you, I told you that I'll be using the first 30 minutes for computer studies, and then after I'll be welcoming Mr. Choibona to take you through agriculture. So agriculture students, please get ready for agriculture. For now, I'll be stopping here. Thank you so much for watching. Nice day. I told you that I'll be using the first 30 minutes for computer studies, and then after I'll be welcoming Mr. Choibona to take you through agriculture. So agriculture students, please get ready for agriculture. For now, I'll be stopping here. Thank you so much for watching. Nice day. I'll be using the